You are watching KAVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain. Donald Trump in the battleground state of Michigan campaigning together with his VP pick, J.D. Vance, for the first time in front of an enthusiastic crowd. Meanwhile, a growing number of Democrats and voters are calling on President Biden to step aside. But the president, who is in Delaware recovering from COVID, has vowed to stay in the race.
Just 1 week after an assassination attempt during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump back on the campaign trail.
I stand before you only by the grace of Almighty God.
The former president and his new running mate, J.D. Vance, campaigning together for the first time in the key battleground state of Michigan.
What is this campaign about, if not restoring the American dream for every child in this country?
This is going to be the most important election. We cannot let it slip by.
Meanwhile, President Biden vowing to get back on the campaign trail next week, despite growing calls for him to step aside. More than 36 Democrats in Congress are calling on him to drop out, including Zoe Lofgren of California. Lofgren telling MSNBC,
I think kind of a mini primary, maybe a vetting hosted by former presidents, including Obama and Clinton, would be helpful.
Sources tell ABC News Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have all told Biden he'll lose to Donald Trump and drag down Democrats in Congress. Outside the White House, voters, activists, and organizers gathered to call on the president to pass the torch. One of the president's closest allies, Senator Chris Coons of Delaware, says Biden is listening.
I think our president is weighing what he should weigh, which is who is the best candidate to win in November.
Time is running short. Democrats plan to hold a virtual roll call on the first week of August to nominate Biden. Once nominated, he could still step aside, but the process becomes more complicated. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
A Florida man is in custody charged with making threats to kill former President Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance. Authorities arrested Michael Martin Wiseman on Friday after he posted his threats on social media. The Secret Service says the Jupiter Police Department helped the agency with its investigation that led to Wiseman's arrest. Investigators say Wiseman is also threatened to harm Trump and Vance's families. Wiseman made his first court appearance on Saturday. A judge ordered him held without bond in Palm Beach County. Wiseman is set to return to court next month. Rapper Sean Kingston and his mother are facing federal charges in connection to an alleged $1 million fraud scheme. Kingston, whose legal name is Kissian Anderson, and his 61-year-old mother, Janice Turner, made their first appearances in federal court Friday. It comes after the duo was indicted on federal charges of committing more than $1 million worth of fraud. A Miami grand jury returned an indictment earlier this month accusing the duo of participating in a scheme to defraud victims of high-end specialty vehicles, jewelry, and other goods. And now it's time to talk weather on this Saturday night. Trey, a lot of precipitation headed our way.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. It's going to be a rather rainy and stormy week headed for us this week. But for the meantime, it's pretty quiet around the crossroads. And the current temperature is 79 degrees, what the thermometer reads. Add the humidity factor in. Feels like 83 degrees on the outside, 10 miles of visibility, 90% humidity. It is warm and humid, no doubt about it, going like this. Woo! I tell you what, we're sweating pretty good. And rain chances on the way up? Yes, they are. And how long are they lasting? Quite a while. What's the reason behind it? We'll find that out coming up later on in the full forecast. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. Fire crews battled a 4-alarm fire at a historic church in downtown Dallas on Friday. As fire crews battled the blaze, huge plumes of smoke could be seen coming from First Baptist Dallas. According to officials, the initial call for the fire came in around 6 p.m. Just after 7:30 p.m. part of this church's structure collapsed, and at around 8:14 p.m. a fourth alarm was requested. Dallas Fire Rescue eventually managed to get the fire contained. There were no injuries reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation. Thousands of Disneyland workers voted to authorize a strike over unfair labor practices for unions representing more than 14,000 workers. Announced late Friday that union members voted to authorize a strike. The Disney Workers Bargaining Committee said it has committed to negotiations on Monday and Tuesday, but the strike authorization allows a strike to be called at any time. If a strike does occur, it would be the first at Disneyland in 40 years, where nearly 2,000 cast members walked off the job for 22 days in 1984. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We ask you, have you ever been to a Disney theme park? So this could include the one in California, could include Florida, or any of the Disney theme parks across the world. There's quite a few. Let's take a look at what y'all are saying, okay? It's 58% of you saying yes, you have been, and 42% of you say no. All right, thank you for taking part in tonight's viewer poll. A historic hotel in Blessing got some much-needed funds after their live and silent auctions earlier today. Trenton Whiting has more on the event. Trenton.
Thanks, Carolina. I visited the Blessing Hotel today during their annual fundraising event for maintenance on the historic building. Hotel Blessing, the historic hotel well known to Blessing residents, held their annual fundraiser this afternoon featuring a car show, vendors, and prizes in the event hosted by descendants of original builder Jonathan Edwards Pierce in the early 1900s.
I'm fourth generation from Jonathan that built the place back in 1907. I came in here every morning and opened up the coffee shop, just like my dad and my brothers did.
The coffee shop itself faces some difficulties following roof and ceiling damage done by Hurricane Beryl last week.
We had water come into I think it's room 18 up above, and it just came on down and came right through the dining room here in the cafe.
The Pierce family will need to secure bids for the repairs before using the funds. It is likely to be closed until at least the ceiling repairs are done, but the family hopes to replace the entire roof as well. Rooms are expected to be available in the next several weeks, though, including the Helen Feldhausen display room in honor of the head cook at the cafe. The live and silent auctions held a combined 90 donations for bid as the main fundraiser for the hotel.
I was so surprised. Really, with all the rain that started at 10 o'clock this morning, I thought, oh no, this isn't good, and people had plans to be here.
Dozens supported the hotel as it looks to bounce back from the hurricane. This has been Trenton Whiting, KAVU TV 25 News Now.
A somber remembrance in Aurora, Colorado today. 12 years ago, a gunman opened fire in a movie theater and killed 12 people and an unborn baby. 70 people were injured. First responders, families, and survivors gathered overnight at the 720 Memorial to mark the anniversary.
I was going to check what time it was. July 20th, a day when time stands still.
11:38.
Every minute filled with heartache and hope.
People are coming together and supporting each other.
A place where Nikki Lyons feels comfortable sharing her story.
How are you connected?
So I was in Auditorium 8 when the bullets went through the wall. And I lost my friend AJ Blake next door in Auditorium 9 where the shooter was.
A memory from the past that still haunts her in the present.
We have people here who come every year to remember our 13 loved ones.
Nikki is one of those people.
We're here for it.
I'm just trying to find AJ Stone.
It's been 12 years since Nikki lost her friend.
It's just a little hard to see in the dark.
And every day, this garden brings a little light.
I found it. It's over here.
And a bit of healing.
I'm fine.
The shooting ripped apart many families. One of the victims, Ashley Moser, suffered unspeakable loss that day. The shooting left her paralyzed. She was pregnant at the time and lost her baby. Her 6-year-old daughter, Veronica, also died in the shooting. She was the youngest victim. All right, get your cell phone, scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can watch us anytime, anywhere, get breaking news alerts, and vote in our viewer poll. You can also learn about our contest and submit news tips and photos. And remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up, a group of seniors in Chicago are getting ready for a special occasion.
Okay, on the outside, well, the rain beginning to subside now with the loss of daytime heating. It'll be revving up again tomorrow, and especially this coming week looks very wet and stormy for us. We'll take a look at that in the full forecast.
Many people fondly remember their high school proms, and while we often associate this special event with young people, a group of seniors in Chicago has proven getting dressed up for prom never gets old.
Feeling good about how you look.
It feels real good.
Never gets old.
The good part about it is that you're happy.
95-year-old Dolores Williams feels 16 all over again.
Well, you look gorgeous. This would be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I'm very
She's reflecting on her high school prom experience.
I remember I got a good kiss.
Because today, she gets to relive it.
Oh, I'm getting ready for the prom.
It's senior prom day at Roseland Place, a senior living facility on the south side.
Prom to me is a lifetime memory, something they remember for a lifetime.
Nancy Edwards has been planning for months as resident services coordinator, soliciting help from the community and nonprofits to throw a party for about 100 low-income seniors.
Everybody was just volunteering. You know, it's like so far, whatever I needed, it came through.
Do you have a date?
You want to be it?
Dolores' first prom sounds like it was hard to beat, but this time, nearly 80 years later, she's royalty.
Who would want to be a queen?
She looked very pretty. She looked very stunning. She looked like an actual queen.
There's no cost for hair or makeup for the prom queen or anyone else. Even dresses and suits were donated to make everyone feel like a royal.
The king of the prom today.
A prom day every senior deserves.
Tomorrow may be the perfect day to treat yourself to a sundae on a Sunday. And it's also because it's National Ice Cream Day. Former President Ronald Reagan declared the third Sunday of July as National Ice Cream Day and July as National Ice Cream Month. Ice cream is hugely popular. Research shows about 97% of Americans either love or like ice cream. And in case you're wondering what Americans' favorite topping is, hot fudge is preferred by 1 out of 3 people. Whipped cream is a close second, followed by caramel sauce, then chocolate sauce. It's a slow process, but operations are slowly rebounding around the globe after what is being called the largest IT outage in history. Airlines, though, are still struggling. The airline tracking website FlightAware reports more than 1,600 flights in and out of the U.S. were canceled today over the CrowdStrike glitch. Nearly 5,000 flights are delayed. Delta Airlines has been hit the hardest with more than 800 flights canceled. Airlines, businesses, government agencies, health and emergency services, banks, and schools across the globe saw their services disrupted or stopped on Friday. Motorists won't be able to travel on South Ocean Boulevard near Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, starting today after it was closed for security due to enhanced security measures. The street closed to through traffic starting at approximately 4 p.m. and it'll be in effect 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until the November general election at minimum. It comes after the former president survived an attempted assassination attempt. 20-year-old Thomas Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, opened fire during the president's rally held in Butler last Saturday. He was shot and killed by a Secret Service sniper. Crooks's motive for the attempted assassination remains unclear. North Carolina Democrats held a unity dinner fundraiser tonight, and they avoided talking about the disunity within the within the party about whether President Joe Biden should drop out of the race or what other potential options there may be at the top of the Democratic ticket. There was a short video about Biden's accomplishments that was played early in the event, but the controversy over his candidacy was not mentioned. The keynote speaker, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, spent most of her time attacking Republicans and emphasizing why voters should vote Democrat. For more on today's stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit those birthday wishes. We'll read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise, and you can even submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Trey, take it away.
Even though we had clouds and rainfall in the area today, it still made up to 95 degrees was the official high in Victoria. Low 74 degrees, which is pretty much on target where it should be for this time of year, high and low. 105 was the hottest temperature for the record in 1913, a long time ago, one of the hottest temperatures ever in Victoria. Not getting anywhere near that. The rain chances are going up in a big wave. We'll take a look coming up. Good Saturday evening, everyone. I'll tell you what, it was a pretty, well, kind of stormy day around the region. Not everybody got rainfall, but it was fairly scattered around the region in a pretty good amount. Here's a review of the thunderstorms made into the area earlier. They're all faded away now in the lost daytime heat. That's Falls Lake up there near Hallettsville, by the way. But they will be back and increasing in number as we go toward the next several days. Why? Because we have a stationary front over our region here. A stationary front is a boundary, of course. When a boundary tends to lift moisture up into the atmosphere, it causes clouds to build skyward and rain and thunderstorms to develop. That's definitely going to be happening in the next several days with the added daytime heat. A lot of tropical moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico as well, adding to that mix. In addition to that, we have high pressure to the east, high pressure to the west. Stuck in between is a trough of low pressure, so that also promotes the lifting in the atmosphere. So we got all the ingredients here for some pretty good rainfall. Looks pretty widespread coming up for the next several days. Not really so much tomorrow, but beginning on Monday. Okay, take a look at the feel-like temperature as we go on through the early morning hours for your Sunday in the upper 70s or so by about 3 or 4 o'clock or 6 a.m. in the morning. And then be rising up again with the daytime heat, well up above 100 degrees, even though we'll have cloud cover in the region for your day tomorrow. 101 by 11 o'clock, and then definitely by 2 o'clock will be 106, 107. So please be careful out there. Drink plenty of water, find some shade, and take it easy. We want you to remain safe out there, of course. Well, here's something encouraging. Look at the tropics. Well, a little bit of tropical moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, not any organized storm or anything to help to increase our rain chance around here. Weak tropical wave near Cuba and the Bahamas. Nothing of consequence, pretty clear all the way out to the African coast. So at least for the next several days, we're not seeing anything out there to be worried about. So we're happy about that, of course. And rainfall will be on the increase for us around here, starting tomorrow with only scattered. They're really increasing the rainfall amounts coming up for your day on Monday. Let me step out of the way here and get a better view of the days here. By Wednesday, pretty much encompassing the area. And I noticed by Thursday, really increasing. We have anywhere from 5 to 7 inch totals all around the entire Crossroads region at that time, building on that for your day on Friday and Saturday. So this is a potential for some localized flooding with these type of conditions around here with some of the low water areas. So be careful out there. Some of those storms will be bringing some heavy rainfall coming on through. A lot of rain in a quick amount of time could cause some localized flooding. So please be weather aware and watch your weather developments over the next several days. Future clouds and precipitation, yeah, it'll be there. Not so much new overnight tonight with the loss of daytime heating. But as you get maybe a few showers along the immediate coast, working their way inland throughout the early morning hours tomorrow, and increasing the thunderstorm chances in the region coming up for your day tomorrow, primarily in the afternoon. So carry that umbrella with you and be careful out there. Quail for your Sunday, plan your Sunday. Sunday to partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out isolated rain showers, thunderstorm in the afternoon by 3 o'clock or so. And temperatures in the 90s by then. Port Lavaca about the same. Scattered rain shower storm, primarily probably in the morning, near the coastline, working its way inland throughout the rest of the daytime hours. And then in Victoria, about the same. Best chance will be in the afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the daytime heating. Scattered rain showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Temperatures near 90 degrees, still going to be hot and humid. Can't get rid of that as of yet. But notice here scattered storms for your Sunday. And the weather pattern stays pretty stagnant. Heavy rain chances each day. So be careful out there. Watch weather developments. We'll keep you informed as we go through the next several days, of course. Highs in the 80s because of the cloud cover. Lows in the 70s. Check this out right here to be connected with us. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see there on your screen. It'll take you to a web page. You can download our app. News, weather, and sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, and it's free of charge to be connected with us. Everything you need to know. And the Crossroads, we've got it there right at your fingertips. Now here's Ray with sports.
Thanks, Trey. The Generals are on the road. Coming up, I'll provide a live game update on tonight's game.
All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. New details about an incredible story of survival for an elderly woman with dementia who went missing on a Utah mountainside. An 80-year-old woman went for a short walk with her chocolate Labrador while her husband was cooking dinner, but she never returned. Authorities were called and people started looking for her, but searchers did not find anything during the first 24 hours. A conservation officer credits the woman's dog with helping searchers find the woman. His barking eventually led rescuers to her. Wow, what an incredible story.
They have a sense of things
80?
like that.
Yeah, she was 80, and I
Wow.
think she was stranded for several days.
Wow, dude. That's crazy, yeah.
So this is not just a man's best friend, a woman's best friend too.
Of course.
Really?
All humans.
Well, and we also have this story from the Texas Tribune, written by my very own friend Jessica Priest and former colleague. This story is about a West Texas pastor who used illegal donations from churches to campaign for office. You can read all about it on our website, crossroadstoday.com. It's always good to see your friends go on and write stories and
yes.
continue
Be
their
successful,
journey.
yeah.
Definitely. All right, Trey, well, how's it looking out there for us?
Well, let's see, we're warm and humid now, all dry for the moment. I say for the moment because that'll be changing. Scattered thunderstorms tomorrow, not anything too terribly widespread, but be careful out there. Beginning on Monday through the rest of the week, see heavy rain potential pretty much each day. Localized flooding not out of the question, so be weather aware, catching up on the rainfall. Wet week ahead, so umbrella's going to be your best friend. For
You're going to have an umbrella for all those football practices.
Really? Yes, really. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you, Ray. All right, and thank y'all for joining us. We've had a fun Saturday here. Tune in tomorrow with Karina Garcia at 5:30 on Sunday.